I just wanted to kind of ground us a little bit on our topic and what we're going to have conversations on, or me sharing a little bit of my personal story. So, for today's topic, we are actually talking about life versus lifestyle. So, 6 years ago, I had one big goal of mine that I wanted to accomplish, that I knew I had to go all in. But the thing was, as a college student, I was very busy with a full time school, worker, and I was also a son, had to understand and balance the Hmong culture and the Western culture. So I had one big goal. And I knew that in order for me to accomplish that goal, I had to give up on some things. But then instead, I gave up on my dancing, I gave up on my time, I gave up on my community. I stopped doing community organization, and I also gave up on certain relationships within my life because I knew that I didn't have enough time to focus on that one big goal was to graduate college and to land an internship as a graphic designer. And because of all of those sacrifices and the things I gave up, the end result, well, it was a success. Okay, I graduated with a BFA, and I also graduated with a piece of paper, a contract in my hand saying that I have gotten my internship at Periscope, along with a piece of paper that says I graduated with a 4 year degree. So, with those two pieces of paper, I was happy, I was excited, and I was proud. But in that moment, I also felt like I was missing something. I was missing that sense of fulfillment. I didn't really understand why I kind of had the feeling, but I was still proud. But then when I reflected back, I realized that because I was so busy forging my college degree, I also forgot to forge my life degree or my life along the way. So that was why I didn't feel like I was fulfilled because I wasted all my time and energy. Well, not wasted. I spent a lot of my time and energy on my college degree. And when I finally got it in the internship, I feel like I lost a part of myself. So then fast forward 3 years later, I'm now in my industry as a graphic designer. I'm designing away, I'm making magic happen for brands, retailers, and advertising. I'm also getting paid more than I was getting paid previously. It was maybe like $12 an hour for, or even $9 an hour for work study. And that wasn't even enough. But then now, 3 years later, I'm making more than that. I should be happy, right? I should be happy because I'm working my dream job, I'm getting paid more, and a lot of students would die to be in the position I was in. But the thing was, I was happy. But then the other side, I also wasn't happy. And I didn't know why I was feeling this sense because, every day my routines became mundane. Now that I'm calling myself a professional with 3 years in the industry, my routines became empty. I didn't even feel a sense of fulfillment. And this was my routine for the past 3 years. I would literally wake up at 8 a.m. and then from there I would drive down through the busiest highway in St. Paul just to get to Minneapolis. The morning traffic was not on my side, especially in Minneapolis, going to Minneapolis. And then once I get to work, by that time it's already 9 a.m. and then I will get to work. I'll sit down. I will spend the rest of my days looking at the computer, again making the magic happen, bringing brands and their promises and their experiences to life through advertising and marketing. And then once I'm done doing that for 8 hours, I would drive all the way back home. And then once I get home, I will actually binge Facebook for a couple hours. Then I will eat my dinner. And afterwards, I will binge Facebook, Netflix, YouTube, and Instagram. I would do this every single day for 3 years. 3 years of that definitely takes a toll on you. And I realized that at that moment, all of my hard work and ambitions and motivations like went out the door. All my hard work when I graduated college to be that graphic designer, it went out the door in 3 years. I lost that drive because my routines, my lifestyle became boring, became mundane, and that wasn't a really good attitude for my mindset. Because of that, I created toxic habits for myself. I started to abuse alcohol. I started to abuse food. I started to stay out late more. I didn't really come home early often because I was like, this is it. This is life. I'm just living it. But then I was doing toxic habits that was confining me in my head, that I created rules for myself that confined me to act a certain way. And these rules were only rules that I created for myself. No one told me about them. It just all existed in here. And that's when I knew that something was wrong. Usually at this point, I will think that I should be happy. I'm working my dream job. But then at the same time, I felt like I was missing something deep down inside of me. Within those 3 years, these were my feelings. I felt frustrated. I felt irritated. I felt insecure. I felt emotionless, exhausted, burnt out. And this last one, I felt lost in life. Isn't that ironic? I felt lost in life, even though I was working at my dream job. Yeah, I'm gonna let this sink in. I felt lost in life, even though I was working at my dream job. Isn't that crazy? Is that even possible? I don't know if it's even possible. It happened to me. Sometimes when I think about it, I now I know why I felt that way. But at that moment, I just felt a lingering feeling that I should be happy, but I wasn't. So then that's when I knew, like, okay, I think there is something wrong here. Either there's something wrong with me, my job, my life, my circumstances. What I needed to do was I need to pause and take a step back. And you know what I ended up doing? I ended up going to Google, which is probably like my favorite therapist. My virtual therapist. I go to Google. I read so many books, vlogs, blogs. I've asked so many people for their opinions. But at the end of the day, none of that helped. I didn't really get my solution or found my answers. I was still lost. I was even more frustrated and irritated because everyone has so many advices. But then I took another step back and I was like, you know what? I really need to slow down and go back on my self-love journey. And I need to reconnect to my values and rediscover them and redefine them. Because then what I realized, the reason why I didn't feel fulfilled was because I wasn't living life. I was living a toxic life that was based off on habits that didn't give me any results. And the reason why I wasn't living life was because I wasn't dancing anymore. I wasn't giving myself time for self-care or time to do the things that I want to do. I wasn't giving back to my community anymore. I wasn't organizing events. And that was something that I was very passionate about during college and even after college for a couple of years. So my values helped me see that I wasn't living the life I wanted because I wasn't aligned anymore. My whole life now was just focused on my professional career, which is graphic design, and the bills, and then making sure I have a roof over my head for my family. And then my dancing, my passions, the my personality, me, was just like gone away for the past 3 years. That's why my everyday routines were so mundane and boring. I started to see my lifestyle as being boring. So then what I started to do was I started to teach myself the difference between life and lifestyle. Because in order for me to, go back into the life, to build the life that I want, I need to go all the way back to the ground, to the bottom, which is my values. Because once I understand my values, it will help dictate my decisions. And then once I have done that, it will help dictate my habits. And my habits will help dictate my lifestyle. And then my lifestyle will help, guess it, dictate my life. It will help dictate the life that I want. So kind of bring that back. I know that was a lot of layering. Let's bring that back to a more high level picture. And let's put it this way. A lifestyle is the effort and energy we put into something to give us that result. And that result happens to be our life. And as we are making that lifestyle, those energies and efforts are our habits, our personality, our decisions, and our attitude, which gives us the life that we actually want. Let's make that also more tangible. And let's put it this way so we all can actually visualize it. Let's say I want to be an entrepreneur. So now my lifestyle is going to be me hustling. I'm going to be networking. I'm going to be making those sales calls. I'm going to be making those business pitches. That's my lifestyle as an entrepreneur. I'm hustling. I'm meeting new people. It's dictating my decisions and my habits. And because I put in all those hard work in, the result will be the life that I want. And now when I talk about my life, I can say, I now have an empire. I have accumulated an abundance of wealth. I've also started a few foundations. Because of my lifestyle, it helped me visualize and create that life that I wanted. So I'm going to bring that back again and then re-summarize it. So the lifestyle is the effort and energy we put into something to give us that result. And the life is us getting that result, and that's us living and experiencing it. So once I put all of those two differences and also the similarities that they may carry together, I start to wrap my head around the differences of why I didn't feel fulfilled and why I didn't. And I didn't have this same mindset mentality back 6 years ago. I wish I did, but I didn't. But what I did know was that I needed to go back to my values and reground myself. So now fast forward 6 years later to me now today, I am now an art director, still graphic designer. I've been in the industry for 5 years. And I am way better than before. I actually feel fulfilled. But the reason why I'm still in the same situation is because now that I'm in the industry for 5 years, I've accumulated so many different knowledges and experiences. I want to do more things. I want to start investing. I want to start thinking about how to build my wealth, how to build better relationships, how to travel. So now my circumstances are just different, but the situation and mindset is still similar. But the only difference now is that I can see my desired lifestyle and I can see the life that I want to experience. So now I'm not giving up on anything. I'm actually consolidating them to some things that I can't control. So now I can proudly say that instead of just giving up on everything, I'm bringing that back and say, I'm a dancer and I'm still dancing. And I'm bringing that back. It's never felt so good. I'm a speaker. I launched my speaking business 2 years ago, talking to college students and high school students. I'm also a designer. My career, I'm making magic happen, making brands, telling the stories. And I'm also a coach, coaching busy professionals like you and myself, understanding the balance between life and lifestyle, our work, our businesses, our wealth, our family. Now I can gladly say all of that because I see my desired lifestyle, which dictates my habits, which is going to create the outcome and the result of my life. I'm going to pause there. I'm trying to see if there are any questions. Let's see. Yes, Gosho. Yes, I did have an epiphany. And our values definitely do dictate our decisions a lot. And I would dive deeper into what that means and what that looks like, because when I say values, it's just words. It may not stick with you, but if we leverage it in a really powerful way, it definitely dictates our choices and decisions. And of course, at the end, our end goal is to kind of see that purpose that grounds us. So thank you for giving your time and listening. Feel free to please leave your questions in the comments. Again, I will want to answer them as best as I can. If you want to have a deeper conversation about lifestyle or life or purpose, send me a message or even book a mindset call with me, because I want to continue to have this conversation with you, because it can, again, it could be an epiphany for you. It could be very deep. It's always amazing to kind of have these deep conversations as well. And as always, have a practicing mind.